Oh, welcome to Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday. I'm exhausted from catching up with all of the emails from all of these things in which I subscribe to. So, if you are like me and many of you out there, that there's lots and lots and lots of self care options, not just with Life Pro, but just in when you start looking into things, you get into these tangents and all these ads start popping up. So you've probably, if you are considering some self-care tools with your favorite provider, Life Pro, today is the day. They've got up to 40% off site-wide on select items. Last night I thought, well, there's such a I like to break self-care tools into different categories. So you've got your light therapies, and you've got your exercise equipment, and you've got your vibration plates, which can be health, wellness, fitness. Some of them overlap into different goals. And what I was hoping to do this morning when I got the details on what Cyber Monday was about was to just give you a couple three options of my faves in each category. But there's so many deals. If you guys are looking at, especially some of the higher ticket items, if you've been sort of on the fence, maybe with some of the bigger saunas or the red light panels, there is some extensively amazing deals. This is going to be as good as it gets this year. And I will drop the link for you to take a look. I was going to try and suggest one or two, but I think at this point it's something you should surf if you've been narrowing down a product. Sales on until midnight this evening, so make sure that you check out the sale. I'm going to grab you the Cyber Monday link. And if you are joining me, please let me know that you are here and that you can see and hear me. If somebody would let me know that I'm coming through on the other end. So I'm going to get into what I decided to do instead of picking my top three or four, because I couldn't. I wanted to break it sort of into the different self-care technologies. I have a really diverse background commercially, in a studio, and medically with a lot of these. Hey, Kathy, awesome. Thank you for letting me know. If we do have any technical difficulties like I did starting, everybody's shopping online today, coffee break, lunch break. So I want to start, of course, with my heart and soul, which is vibration plates. No, I wasn't going to try and attempt to put every product I recommend on camera. But if you have been considering a vibration plate, today is the day. Which one would Debbie recommend? Any of the tools I'm going to talk about today boil down to you and what you intend on using them for. What are the goals? What are the challenges? What are you dealing with now? So when it comes to vibration plates, I want you to put a little bit of thought into things like, where are you going to be using it? Do you plan on moving it around? Do you want to be able to take it with you? Maybe you've got a cabin, or you're a care provider and you help other people. So these are all, it's not always about, there's never a best machine, just like there's never a best setting or program for every goal and every body type out there. So with vibration plates, best overall, if you want all the bells, all the whistles, you're starting from scratch, but you hope to progress, do maybe some fitness with it. Maybe there's more people in the house using it. I recommend, and you see me use in a lot of my sessions, is the Rumblex 4D Plus. The reason I recommend that is the best kind of all-around model. I will point out multi-movement machines. So the Rumblex offers my favorite, the foundational movement of oscillating pivotal movement, that's side to side like we walk. It also offers pulsation, so that buzzy, tickly, vertically moving up and down, not nearly as intense or as much movement as oscillating. And then there is lateral. Lateral is the entire surface moving side to side. There is oscillating pivotal is available on all of Life Pro's models. But if you wanted some variety, you wanted to mix things up, you've been using plates for a while and you want to upgrade to something with more features, the Rumblex 4D is absolutely my first recommendation. It's 30% off today. And depending on what you may be looking at, if you're looking at a couple of different things, any order over 250 today also includes a free gift, and you can check out the details on the link. So overall, the Rumblex 4D, it's the flat surface. I work with a lot of medical issues. I deal with a lot of poor mobility, stamina issues, but I also deal with Olympic level athletes and everything in between. So for me as a trainer, it's the most versatile and for my own personal use. Sometimes I'm kicking my butt, and sometimes I just, my carpal tunnel's kicking in because I've been typing notes for too long sitting at my desk, and I want to just, get a little circulation. So a tool like a vibration plate, if you've been using one for some time, one of my favorite things to say is you are only limited by your imagination and your range of motion. So what you do on the plate is more what drives your goals, is also driven by your ability. So the plate, the setting, none of that is realistically what gets you from point A to B. It's what you do on it. And if you want to step up what you've been doing, you want more variety, that's my number one choice. If you're looking from a lifestyle perspective for something more portable, something more easily moved around the house, maybe you are dealing with a medical condition, or maybe you just like using your machine throughout the day under your desk or by the kitchen counter, I would lean towards the Waver. For one reason, because it's 40% off today. It's an amazing deal. If you are very frail, really, really lacking strength, you may want to step down to the Mini. It's just a little bit lighter. The multi-movement machines where they've got, pulsation, oscillating, and lateral, each require a different motor and housing to operate each of those movements. So the more bells, the more whistles, the more features, the more components in the guts of the machine, which is going to equate to usually a larger plate surface and certainly a heavier one. So if you're just looking for basic use, you do want some fitness. Again, it's about what you do on it, not the setting. But you want something a little more, complementary to your lifestyle. You want to be able to move it around. You want to be able, you're a care provider and you want to take it over to your next door neighbor, or maybe you spend a lot of time at the office and you want to take it with you because you're going to be working all weekend. So the Waver or the Mini, depending on your weight requirements, would be more affordable. The Mini is 30% off. The Waver is 40% off. The Rumblex 4D is 30% off. And as I was surfing, okay, that was 3, but I do have to mention one more I've been using a lot more lately in my recent sessions is the Relax-A-Vibe. If you are, looking for a little more luxury, you've got the space, the Relax-A-Vibe is the perfect piece of what I call functional furniture. So, it can be, a footrest or an ottoman. I wouldn't recommend sitting on it with the countertop, but the Relax-A-Vibe is in the Rumblex series. It's got wood grain finishing. It's got a nice, like a heathery gray, taupey kind of fabric cover. All your accessories are tucked in on the underside. It's a very cool, very slick design. Larger, I wouldn't recommend that model for lugging around in the kitchen and back and forth. But if you've got a space, you want to enhance the look of that space, yet do your workouts in front of your big TV, maybe in the living room, that's a model worth checking out. And I'm mentioning it today because it is also 40% off. So I believe that's on the high end of the price tag for the models that Life Pro offers. So if you have been looking for the creme de la creme and you've got the space in your living room, the Relax-A-Vibe is a model I would absolutely check out. Moving on, because I love vibration machines. Vibration machines from a self-care perspective are what I would call a mechanical stimulus of vibration, where it's mechanically moving your body, interacting with the mass of your body, accelerating the effects and the benefits of gravity. A vibration plate essentially increases your exposure to gravity, unlocking the known benefits associated with that, the bone density, the strength. So whether it's the little tool or the top of the line tool, it's about you getting on them consistently. So moving on to other vibrating things or waveforms, everything is vibration. It's just how it delivers and is received by the body. So I'm going to move on to infrared now and light therapy and red light. I've got my big box buried here. but there is an amazing deal right now on the BioRemedy. I just did a presentation for this. Dr. Walls and her team was gracious enough to do a really cool seminar last month where I did a demonstration on this. The BioRemedy blanket. This is, it's kind of hard to show in the space, but with the box you can see this has armholes. Armholes are equally important for that busy mom, or sometimes you have heat sensitivities, or you have claustrophobia, or you're just busy and you won't take the time away from your busy life, and you want to be able to access the phone or something. The BioRemedy blanket is probably the best bang for your buck if you want to get into infrared technology. It is 30% off for the blankets. There's a few different colors and sizes. Pay attention to that. I have both a large and a regular size. I'm 5'10", and I still have plenty of room in the regular. If you do have someone, I would say, pushing the 6 foot or taller, you might have a little bit more wiggle room in the large size. And of course, it's anyone littler can use that as well. The BioRemedy is the least expensive option to get started. Not everyone has the space. Not everyone has the ability to invest in a larger. Look, I'm sitting by my Rejuvicure, giving it some loving. But not everyone has the space or the ability to get into a box sauna or the dome sauna. So the BioRemedy blanket, the Rejuva wrap, some of the more robust models, you're using this for 15, maybe 30 minutes on a daily basis, maybe an hour every other day. Sometimes I get questions about EMFs and what am I exposing myself to? This is a treatment. Anything that plugs into the wall or uses power, be it a lithium battery, anything with power emits EMFs. And there's different types. There's magnetic, there's electric. So it's sometimes when I get the questions about the EMF, I get a little frustrated because you want to watch a movie while you're on your cell phone or your tablet while you're in your sauna. The goal, commit to the treatment. With EMFs, and if you are sensitive, which I am, I spend more time explaining. I'm not a physicist, and you may as well be trying to explain some of this stuff. But with the EMFs, be conscious about the accumulation of your devices that you are using. So don't do your sauna and have 4 Bluetooth speakers and your Wi-Fi sound and TV. It's the accumulation of all these things. And then you're living next to a big power station. So be mindful. If you are sensitive, give yourself a little bit of time away from the TV screen, anything, your devices and the blue screen time. There's different types of blue light, but the device from our phones and our computers can be taxing and tiring on us. And it's important to give your body time to focus on this treatment. And keep in mind also with EMF, it's a prolonged exposure thing you want to be conscious of as well. You won't let your kids be 2 inches away from the TV for 8 hours at a time for a reason. This is intended to be an under an hour treatment. I recommend with the blanket to line it with towels. I get a sweat on pretty well. I'm into using infrared technology. I'm seasoned to using it here again in the last month. So I find the sweat on turns pretty quick. So whether I'm in the booth or whether I'm using one of the lay down styles, sometimes if I've had a really physically taxing day, I prefer just hopping into my BioRemedy and laying on my bed, because then I can talk with my kid and my dog and things like that. So keep this also in mind. Maybe you have the space and you have the budget for the larger model. Look at your lifestyle. Where are you realistically going to be using this? Do you prefer to lay down? Is there medically a reason that you should be? Maybe you're in a recovery situation and you're using this as part of that. And sometimes this is the reason you have 2 or 3 different things, because one tool is never perfect for every situation in your life or every family member for that matter. So moving on from the BioRemedy, again, I'm a big fan, and cleanup is easy. If you do find you're a big sweater, certainly you may want to just give it an additional wipe with some towels after you're done your session, and give it a chance to dry before you fold it back up and store it, which is the beauty of it. You can just roll it up. It's smaller than a sleeping bag. If money and space are no object, as I was scrolling through the Friday deals, I'm going to start crossing over to red light next, but there's a crossover product, which is the infrared dome, which I also have. You can't see. I got a really cool shelf on Amazon. I'll drop the link here when I do my next session on that. But I have everything stored away, tucked away, and I actually use it on a camp cot. You also have the ability to use it on your bed, but if you're looking for a more robust red light and infrared option, the Dome is amazing. It is on sale right now as well. So I recommend checking that out. The Bio Remedy blanket is 30% off. The InfraDome is also 30% off. So if you were looking at that larger ticket item, the InfraDome offers infrared heat, red light, as well as the mat that you lay on the bottom side is infrared, as well as PEMF. So it is a crossover into a few things. Not even going to go there today, but it's a great value if that's one you've been sort of waiting to see a better price on. I like using the InfraDome for clients where medically I want them laying down, or from a recovery perspective, but where they have personal space issues or the mobility isn't great. I like the ability as a care provider or a facility provider with the InfraDome, because I can physically, maybe they want to leave their shoulders out till they feel a bit more comfortable, or maybe they want it right up to the neck, or maybe they just want to do their hips. And there's a large 30-inch wide cavity in there that gives you lots of wiggle room. So you can take advantage of the healing benefits of the red light treatments, the infrared, or combine the two and really ramp up results. So that would be a really good consideration if you are running a facility, you've got a business in your home, or it's just something you've been using for some time and you've been looking to upgrade. The InfraDome is a really cool model, and it stores away in minimal space as well. The new Rejuva Cure sauna, the box sauna, is it is the top of the line as far as Life Pros products go. It's 10% off. It is a larger item, larger not only in transport and shipping and all those things, but it is a specialty item, so it is handled separately, and there's lots of infrastructure and support, of course, with the VIP group and Hyper Deb here, just to help you support if you did have any specific medical questions or things like that. Next, I'm going to move on to more specifically red light. So we talked about the Dome. If you have any questions, I see a few folks are talking to me here. I will get to your questions at the end of this. And whether you have questions product specific or how to use them, I'm here to answer those for you. So this is the BioHeal panel. Why am I mentioning the BioHeal panel? Because I use a lot. Again, I got a display here I'm trying to get rid of there. This is what I would call a hands-free red light option. So again, if we're thinking about how we're going to use these tools, how do we visualize ourselves using these tools? I am here. I am back. I told you, everybody's shopping online. Or maybe you switched channels because Debbie was rambling too much. My apologies. I got a notice there that I had ended the stream, or I had an interruption. So I see 6 of you are still here with me. I was just moving on to other tools, and I was lecturing you about thinking about how you're going to be using these tools. So if you're looking at red light therapy, I'm going to start with the BioHeal panel. I mentioned before we got interrupted there that it is what I would consider a hands-free tool for those of you working in a care facility, or you're working with these tools with other folks. You can do other treatments while you're administering this. If you are dealing with poor mobility, if you got poor range of motion to physically apply a wearable, maybe one of the belts, this is a good option where you could sit on a table while you're sitting at your chair. You can put it on your bedside table, and you can. This is what I would also consider a tool ideal for treating larger areas, as opposed to maybe the pens or the torches, the smaller devices where maybe you're using that for more a local or specific area. The BioHeal panel would be great for doing lower legs, the abdomen area, the face, larger surfaces, for those of you that are leaning towards looking at these technologies for weight loss, but you also want the advantages of maybe, cleaning up some skin surface issues. Maybe you've lost some weight and you've got some loose, saggy skin. BioHeal is also encompassing of red light, of infrared. So if it's a chronic issue, you've got swelling below the skin surface, it's going to be great at boosting that lymphatic and that blood flow, but it's also going to help with the arthritic knee or the carpal tunnels. So depending on how you want to set this, it's got different setting light therapy options, and it can be a hands-free set it and forget it option. I like to do other things. Sometimes maybe I'm working at my computer and, having a belt. My big thing is actually my shoulder. So draping it over my shoulder and keeping it in place if it's the belt. There's never quite the right perfect thing. I do like having this beside me, kind of casting upon me. Not only does it keep me a little bit warm, but I'm getting the benefits of, I've got a lot of acne scarring on my face. Maybe it's helping the hair get thicker, who knows, but I find I get a larger surface, and it leaves my hands free when I'm using this style of a device. Again, it really depends on where you're planning on using it. If this is somewhat portable, so if you did want to take it with you to work, if you maybe you have an area dedicated in your home, and you're just moving it around to administer to different body parts, it's very robust. It's a steel case. I'm very impressed with the quality of the panels that LifePro has brought to the market. Downsizing substantially, I'm going to go on to my next favorite light therapy, specifically red light tool. This is the LumaCure Pro. This and the regular model are both on sale today. This is, again, think about what you're going to be using this for. If you got chronic hand issues, or you got a wonky ankle that's always giving you issues, or maybe you've got some spots on the skin that you're trying to minimize the appearance of, or lesions, diabetic sores. There's all kinds of reasons that we're using the benefits of light therapy. What's cool about the wands, I call them, or the torches that LifePro labels them as, they're very easily transportable, and so many of my clients dealing with chronic issues need something to take with them. They'd love to take all their self-care tools with them, but sometimes it's just not feasible. Or maybe your chronic issues present throughout the course of the day, and if you had a way to easily and effectively manage them, the end of the day would look a lot brighter than it currently does. So if that's you, and you're dealing with chronic issues throughout the day, your body is physically required to perform, physical work takes its toll, as does sedentary work. If you're sitting at your desk, you're going to have your own set of issues, just like the construction worker. So this is a great tool to take with you and use as symptoms present before they get too brutal, quite frankly. Red light, of course, again, is going to be more skin surface, whereas your infrared is going to go a little bit deeper. This has also pulse. Do your own research. Research is so vast and encompassing on a lot of these therapies. There's never one definitive way or setting, just like vibration plates, just like a sauna. You're all individual people. You all have individual needs, deficiencies in some cases, and you all have different hopes and dreams, right? world peace. But if physically things are hurting all the time, it's hard to progress and get to the bigger goals. Maybe it's weight loss, or maybe you just want to be able to play baseball or hockey with your kids again. So these type of tools, sometimes managing those symptoms throughout the day before they cause excessive inflammation or swelling, will not only keep those symptoms at bay, but you will often find, if you're consistent, there's that C word, consistently using these, as your body tells you it needs it, you'll eventually find the severity decreasing in a lot of cases, and how often you need to use these tools also decreasing. So maybe you're starting with a couple minutes for 4 or 5 times a day because you've got really bad joint issues. You'll find even within a week or two, you're not having, you forgot to bring it with you because you've been feeling pretty good. So consistent use, and sometimes the smaller tool, again, really take an honest look and be mindful about what you're going to be using your red light therapies for. If you're looking for something more total body, you're looking for weight loss, you want to be able to do other things or combine other things, lean towards the panels, the dome sauna, even the belts and some of the wearable devices. There's so many to mention, the new neck. But the torches, the glove, there's a few, the finger, the cold sore, there's a few different devices out there that are more specifically to treat those chronic areas. And this is your little, this is your weapon to fight those things and keep them at bay throughout the day. So these are also, this one's 40% off. So it's really, really good value if you've been considering any of the red light. The panel is, I believe, I want to say 30% off, but I could be wrong. It might be 20, but these are very good long-term use products, and they're going to have a lot of variety in their applications. So if you've been considering, stepping up or adding something in complement to some of your basic products already, now is the time. Lastly, I want to move on to massage guns, and this is going to be a little bit of a demo. Massage guns, I've had a ton of questions this week and debate in many of my support communities as to what's the best way to use a massage gun for this, or what's the best setting on my massage gun for that. So I want to give you a super quick crash course on the best way to start with your massage gun. Sometimes I do it shorter in these sessions than I do in my talks, but I'm really trying not to ramble. That's my new year. This is the Sonic. This would be what I personally refer to as LifePro's workhorse model. It's been around ever since I've been working with LifePro a few years now, and it's not their smallest gun. It's not their biggest gun, but just like everything else I've discussed today, I want you to visualize, what am I using these tools for? It's not because, this is the best price, or it's like half price, I'm going to get the biggest, the baddest. Sometimes, spending more and getting more robust doesn't make the using it consistently all day, every day, feasible. So if you are 92 years old and you're 5'1" and you have itty little bitty hands, the handles on some of these guns, I have freakishly small hands for my size, but this for me is a comfortable grip. I can get a good hold on it. There's a little bit of cushioning on the handle. I've got the generic ball in. If right off the bat, you're looking at this, I think it's just under 2 pounds, and you're thinking to yourself, I can't even lift that. A massage gun, and I don't know if you've watched any of my massage gun sessions, but for many of my clients that lack grip strength, they're dealing with atrophy, whatever has declined in the hand strength, where you couldn't even imagine picking this up. The best way to start using a massage gun, just like I say in my vibration machine sessions, I want you to turn your gun on, and then I'll talk about my recommendations after, but I'm going to show you a little demo here. And I want you working with a mid speed, not slow. This is not a treadmill. This is not an elliptical. Slow is choppy and hammering and uncomfortable. So I'm just going to get close to the screen. I'm going to try. Okay. So if I start slow, you can almost see each stroke of the movement. That's speed 1. If I bring it up to speed 2, starts looking a little more fluid. You can still sort of see it on camera, but not as cleanly in the movement, but you do see that forward motion. Right now, I think it's running at about 35 hertz, which is 35 movements per second. So you think you're seeing it 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're not. As we go up, this is speed 3, which is probably a better starting point. Many of you are looking at me going, how is that possible? I can't handle the beginning speed, and you want me to crank it up? See how you can barely see it moving? Let's go one more. So up to 4. So how do my little 90-year-olds tolerate, these crazy high speeds using their massage gun? The number one wrong thing we do with the massage gun is we think we need to be this muscle-bound, strong therapist and apply all this pressure. Well, most of my clients don't have the strength to even hold the gun, let alone push into their opposite arm. The best way to start with a massage gun is to understand and feel how the speeds feel for you. So when you're using it, I'm going to bring my chair closer. Okay. When you're using this, I'm on speed 4. Yeah, I'm on speed 4 right now. Okay. Instead of trying to kill yourself and press as hard as possible, let the gun do the work. Reduce how much you're pushing. Don't push at all. Just let the machine or the tip skim the surface. See the difference? You can it looks like it's almost not touching my skin. So for those of you looking to just boost lymphatic stimulation, those lymphatic vessels are just below the surface of the skin. You don't need to beat yourself up. If you're dealing with chronic pain, carpal tunnel, neuropathy, any kind of nerve issues, this is a great way to just slowly get things moving. Let the gun do the work. Crank it up to, like I say, a mid speed. If you're dealing with lumps, tension, for my lipedema and lymphedema crowd, Derkums, all those lymphomas, don't hit them hard on. Just work around the skin, get the circulation going, kind of like a cinnamon bun. If you've got a lump there, work around it. And then as everybody's tolerance is different. And just like when you start with a vibration plate, you'll develop a different tolerance to your massage gun, depending on how you apply it. So if you're doing this and you're pushing, no, it's not going to be comfortable on any speed. And a lot of people, I'll show you a difference here now. You combine that with a slow speed. Look at it's, maybe you like how it feels, but if you're dealing with chronic issues, you tend to bruise easily. This is where all that goes down. Crank your gun up. I like starting at about speed 3 or 4 every time. And I let the gun do the work. And then as I've prepped and I get a little bit looser, then you can dig in and add a little bit more pressure. Again, for those of you that lack grip strength and look at that and think you'll never be able to do something like that, this is how you start. Just hang on to it. Just by holding on the vibration, the stimulation that's being transmitted through the gun's motor into your hands, all of it, that's the number one comment I get with my geriatric crowd is my hands are so much stronger since I started using that gun. Well, just let it lay on your lap. If you've got restless leg, lay the gun on your lap and just place your hands upon it as a starting point. You're still getting an amazing amount of stimulation in those localized areas. And you'll notice probably with regular use, and if you're using it for chronic issues, regular use might be 7-8 times a day for a couple of minutes. Maybe you're dealing with different body parts. A massage gun is the number one portable mechanical. It's like your therapist in your pocket. So you can treat those localized areas, but as you get strong, you actually develop arm strength using this regularly. Maybe you've got restless leg, or maybe you're just sore after you hit the gym and you don't like to stretch, or you didn't take the time. This is a great way to target things on the go. It's also an awesome way to warm up. If maybe it's leg day, or maybe we're doing some arm work and we know that we lack range in one, or we've got some scar tissue in the other. Use your gun, hit those areas for a minute or two before you hit the gym. And you're going to find not only your workouts are more efficient, but your range of motion, your stability, the muscles are warmed up. You're going to reduce injury. There's all kinds of ways you can incorporate this. Just start experimenting with it. So my number one all around, of course, pick that I've been demonstrating to you is Life Pro's Workhorse, the Sonic. It's on, I think it's 20% off today. It comes with a fair number of attachments. You can look online and see. I don't know how well you can see them here, but your power cords. This makes it easy. You can even, this fits inside my briefcase, or if it's not cold, freezing temperatures outside, it's not uncommon to find one or two massage guns in my glove box, or I got a red light in my. I never know who I'm going to run into on the go, and you'll see me at the post office pulling out massage guns, and I see you limping. So the more you play and the more you experiment, you'll learn how to apply these tools, not just specifically for purpose because it's workout time or whatever, but throughout the day. You know, maybe you're not dealing with chronic issues, but everybody's got tension and stress and, you know, all kinds of things physically and mentally going on. So if you've got any of these tools at home, or you've been sitting on the fence trying to justify a reason, there's too many out there, and I can keep going, but I won't. The Dynamini is probably my number 2 favorite massage gun. I have it out on loan right now. It is itty bitty. It is pocket sized. It is a lighter, less cumbersome model. The smaller the model, the less options come with it. Many of you want specific tips or heads, and there are some that are ideal for certain applications, but not all the heads come with all of the machines. So that's, you know, if you are looking for something specific, keep those features in mind. But the Dynamini is purse size. It is very, very light. And if you are dealing with very, very frail bodies, little tiny bodies, a lot of my pediatric group, I recommend the Mini because it's easily administered by, you know, my kids that have spasticity cropping up during the day, or pain is presenting itself. They're little yet effective enough to be used throughout the day, even by children. So those are my 2 recommends as far as massage guns go. The biggest advice I can give you today is, if you've got some tools and you bought it last Black Friday and you're just taking the package off of it, tune in for some of our videos, guys. And guess what? We're having a review contest. I've mentioned this in the last few sessions. I will drop links in all of this after I finish rambling here. But it is a review contest. They are giving away prizes every 3rd Friday. I'm not sure which Friday we're at. That may be this week. But any reviews that you have submitted to Life Pro since the beginning of September will be eligible for awesome prizes. So please make sure that if you have a product you have bought recently and you haven't done a review on it, maybe you bought it a long time ago and you just haven't done a review, to go in and submit your review. That's all you have to do. I will drop a link to get you to that contest and the details of it. And outside of that, check out the link that I've provided. There's lots of information going on for Black Friday. And I hope today, I woke up to a lot of questions over the weekend and today about which deals are so good. Should I get this one or that one? Oh, I bought this one. I couldn't wait for an answer. Just take time, do your homework. You've got till this evening to make a decision. Today, from a price perspective, should motivate you a little bit, but I hope I offered some suggestions as far as, you know, narrowing down that decision if you're just getting hung up on which might be best for you. There's never one tool for everybody, and combining these tools is just going to ramp up the benefits of anything. So if you've got something and, you know, the results are there, but you're getting a little bored, or the routine's getting a little too routine, you know, add some light therapy to it. Get yourself a blanket, or maybe, you know, you like working out hard, but you're finding it's taking its toll on the joints. Well, you know, get you know, the BioHeal, or maybe one of the torches to just address those issues. Use it as a warm up, or a gun. So there's all kinds of ways you can use these tools to keep training and being active in the way that you choose to be. What else? Kim from Hello, Kim. Happy Monday. Skim the surface and avoid lumps or bones. Kim is one of my Durkheim's disease users. She has lumps in places I didn't know you could get bumps. And it took some time and some experimentation, but everybody's got their own appreciation. Everyone's got their own tolerance. And again, you've got to experiment for yourself to see what works best for you. And those things change over time. What you might have tried 4 or 5 years ago may be awesome today, or maybe you tried something 2-3 years ago and it's just not working for you anymore. If you're dealing with those chronic issues or a diagnosis of some type, sometimes these progressive disorders require you to progress, not just in your fitness, but in how you care for yourself with these tools. Consistency is still the big key, though. And my big dogs are barking because there's probably someone at the front door. Who else do I have here? I want to say, Kathy, yes, I lost you. I hope you are back here with me because I know you have lots of questions. Are you going to discuss the leg compression massager? I can, Jill. I have the Axis. I have several of them. You're going to laugh. The little booties, my computer is sitting on top of the box right now because it wasn't high enough. Compression garments, same thing. What are you using them for? In my fat disorders group, I have a lot of ladies that deal with swelling of every kind everywhere. The leg compressions, the biggest advice I can give you with those specifically for the leg ones is visualize where you're going to be using it. Is it something you plan on using on your bed at the end of the day where you can commit to some space and get yourself into, some of the larger units? Or is it something where, maybe you travel in a car regularly and you maybe you're the passenger. A lot of the booties are probably I know this sounds silly because they're the littlest, but I love the booties because with the lithium battery, you can use them in the car as a passenger. You can sneak them into the care facility and throw them on your mom or your dad and help them with their neuropathy. And sometimes if you're dealing with range of motion, mobility, or just pain, and you don't have someone at home helping you with your self-care and you're having a bad day, sometimes you need that relief, but trying to get, the Axis all the way up to the hip and then onto the bed. Keep in mind, you're going to be the one using these, and I want you using them regularly. So if you're looking at the compression for medical use, visualize what you would see yourself using regularly, and if you have the budget, just because you can't afford the top of the line, the full leg, I'm sure they're called the Axis. A lot of my ladies are dealing with several medications and other self-care tools and doctor trips. So are my pediatric families. So sometimes, going with a lesser top of the line in Life Pro's lineup and getting 3 or 4 tools that are more affordable versus just buying one of top of the line, sometimes having that variety of a few different tools helps drive, what you may end up purchasing. Now there's lots of deals on today. From outside of the legs, the hands, I have so many with arthritis, swelling in the hands. I love the Legra. The Legra was probably one of the first compression tools that Life Pro launched. And it is probably still, even for me personally, it's so easy to use. Once it inflates, it's just on my hand and I can walk around. I broke this pinky many years ago, tripping over a vibration machine and falling onto another one. And I didn't think it was broken. It's just, on cold days, if I've been out shoveling too much or working too much physically with my hands, it just gives me grief. And it's my right hand. So from my peeling potatoes to everything. But I love the Legra. I can still walk around. I can still do other things. And I really like the heat. If you have heat sensitivities, what's nice about all of the compressions is your ability to use them or not use them if they have a heat feature. And surprisingly, many in my group do have heat sensitivities. This will go dual fold for the compressions as well as the bioremedies. They have found, whether they've now gained tolerance or it's something they've worked their way into, with your ability to kind of adjust the settings in so many of these tools, and especially with the bioremedy and the other sauna products, you can start at a lower temperature, and just like running on a treadmill, you can work things up as you become conditioned and your tolerance grows. And many are finding that it's the best thing they ever did. It was the fear that got in the way. So who you were 5-10 years ago, or who you may have been after a surgery or an injury, changes. And it's rare that I don't have someone that can't use infrared heat. Infrared is the incubators that premature babies are put into at hospitals. They're the oldest wellness technology. So there's nothing out there that has been more studied. And no, I'm not recapping thousands of studies, but your personal tolerance and how you plan to use it, whether it's the sauna or the compression garments, to Jill's point, visualize what you're going to be using them for, what body area you're trying to target. Is it a whole body thing? And sometimes that helps you visualize what the better decision is product wise for you. I hope that makes sense, Jill. If you had something more specific, post me. Is the torch good for painful feet? It is. I don't know why the feet have pain. If it's a whole foot thing, if it's just a one toe. If you're looking at treating the feet regularly, I might lean more towards the panel. Especially like if you're dealing with someone elderly that you're caring for, you can sort of set this. I also love the Infragirl lamp. I've never had that thing since the moment I bought it. My stepmom, Helen, uses it regularly. She's got it clipped to a little bookcase while she's got her feet on her vibration plate. She deals with diabetes, and we had a little bit of a scare with some darkening of the toes. And whether it was the vibration plate or whether it was the red light, I was using both simultaneously, and I think it certainly was a combination of both. But the Infraglow is also a nice option that's a little more portable, compact. The clip allows you to sort of put it in different areas, and it's not a terribly huge investment. So it depends on what you're using it for the feet. I would say if they're really, really sensitive and painful, lean towards the light therapies more so than the compressions. You don't really know. A combination of the two would be ideal. You'll probably find the light therapies will offer more of an entry level as far as the tolerance, and you would progress to the compressions and then the standing on the vibration plate and so forth. So it really depends on you and what you're individually dealing with. I hope that makes sense, Jill. Whom else has questions for me here? Kathy, how long can you lay in the BioRemedy blanket? Kathy, you're putting me into a corner. How long can you lay in the sun? Everybody's going to say, well, it depends. Exactly. With the BioRemedy, if you are a brand new sauna user, never been in one in your life, you're not sure how you're going to react, you're dealing with medical issues, start conservative. Are you getting sick of hearing that word? And be consistent. So maybe 10, 15 minutes more frequently if you're looking at treating something chronic, the aches, the pains. If you're looking for weight loss and toning, you do want to get to that point where you're breaking a sweat. Maybe you're looking at battling, you're getting over a cold, or you want to get an immunity boost. You're wrapping up detoxification. So you want to get to that sweat point, and what that is kind of different for everybody. So if you're in it to get to a point of breaking a sweat for all the benefits of it, it kind of depends on you. And what you will find is the more often you use your sauna, the more your body becomes accustomed. I can get into it and within 30 seconds, I'm dying. Whereas early in the season, in the summer, I don't use them as often. When I start using my sauna, my blanket, the booth, sometimes it takes me 10, 15 minutes the first few times before I really start notice the sweat. So if that's the goal, you want to get to that sweat point. If you're using it just for relaxation and feel good, and you got some tunes going, and you can shut out the world, and you're meditating, maybe doing some breathing exercises. I don't like to put a number on it, but I would say 60 minutes per session is probably as long as you want to push it in any one given day. I do have clients that go an hour every day or longer, but they didn't start there. And, maybe they're conditioning for something, or maybe they've just got good tolerance. So you're going to have to experiment with that one. It's easy to overdo it. The lay down styles like the BioRemedy, if I could tell you how many times back in the day I was busting into treatment rooms because clients fell asleep. They got their headphones on and I'm banging on the door. So you tend to fall asleep. So if you're only planning on doing a half-hour session, don't set it for 60. Or, or maybe set it for 30, see how you do. And if you want to go a little longer, add some from there. But if you tend to fall asleep in a sauna like I do, start conservatively and progress. If you're looking for longer durations, you may want to have a day off in between for recovery, especially if you're doing, a lot of athletic training or something. You want to make sure you're not depleting yourself and giving your body adequate recovery time, regardless of what modality or intervention you're adding. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. Okay, I hope it made sense. And sometimes, as I'm rambling and I answer questions, you get more questions in your mind. So if you have anything in particular that you think about after the fact, or you're seeing this on a recorded basis, absolutely just tag me at Debbie with a Y, and that way I'll get notified. Sometimes the comments really get going. For aches and pain. Okay, so let the symptoms, Kathy, drive it. So if they're hurting, use it. The reason I'm so reluctant to put time frames and frequency on any of these things is when you're in pain, I would rather you overdo it in your sauna or on your vibration machine than take more painkillers or whatever else you're taking. The worst you're going to do if you overdo it on a few, you're going to be lethargic, you're going to be tired, you're going to feel dehydrated. So use some common sense. But if it's for pain and symptom management, let your body decide. Maybe you need a sauna tonight and it's not your schedule. But if it's the only thing that's going to give you relief, why wouldn't you? If you have gone through a surgery or an injury, this is probably the biggest one I get beat up on. How soon can I use my machine, after a surgery or an injury? It depends if you were using it before or after. So if you've used your sauna or your vibration machine or your gun before your surgery, you've had experience, how it makes you feel, the energy it gives you, how it relaxes you. So you want it, you crave it, you want to get back to your tools. But if you've never used any of these things and it's a post-surgery situation, you don't have the experience. The fear is a little bit different. You don't know, you're not drawing from a place of experience and using these. You don't know how your body reacts to it. So if you're getting ready for surgery in any way, shape, or form, a lot of these tools are a great thing to not only prepare for the surgery, but then you know what to expect if you're planning on using them for recovery after. So, just things to keep in mind when you're dealing with recovery, especially if it was a severe injury or surgery. Your body's already going through its own things, and these technologies are a great way to just help your body do its job better in repairing and healing you from a mental and physical basis. All right. I think I have rambled enough of you to sleep. I've got 7 or 8 of you, I think, still here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm looking forward to seeing what deals you guys do jump on. If you have any questions after the fact, as I said, the sale is on until this evening. I want to re-mention the review contest. All of you that are joining me from the VIP group, you obviously own a Life Pro product. So if you've bought anything and you haven't made a review, get in there and submit your review. I will drop a link to that. For those of you that have submitted a review, anyone from the beginning of September will automatically be entered into the draw, which is every 3 weeks. And those will happen on Fridays in Amber's live. So keep tuned for that. I'll post the link. Check out the up to 40% off with Life Pro site-wide. My top picks, and I've dropped a link at the top. You guys have a great rest of the week. Don't work too hard, and I look forward to some feedback and seeing what you guys have invested in for your better health with some of the deals that Life Pro has going on today. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.